Kursk, Ukraine advances into Russia. Putin fails again. This is what we will talk about today. Hello there, I'm Elena. Welcome back to my channel Enough of Propaganda. Please like, subscribe, share. Let's make truth available for everyone. This will be my update on the Ukrainian invasion into Russia in the last days from about August 11th to today, August 13th. And this is the channel of President of Ukraine Vladimir Zelenskyy, which is finally Ukrainian government admitted Ukrainian invasion into Russia. And this is his conversation with Commander-in-Chief Alexander Syrsky. And Zelenskyy is receiving reports on the frontline situation and Ukrainian operations in the Kursk region. Despite difficult and intense battles, as Zelenskyy says, our forces continue to advance in the Kursk region, and our state's exchange fund is growing, which is saying that Russian citizens, Russian soldiers, giving themselves up and become part of Ukraine exchange fund. According to Zelenskyy, 74 communities are under Ukrainian control. And basically, at this point in time, over 1,000 square kilometers. According to Ukraine, 480 square kilometers according to Russia, and something in between, about 800 something square kilometers, according to the deep state map, and under control of Ukrainian forces. We're not gonna go too deep into what it means under control. Sometimes they just walk in, sometimes they looking after the settlement. It's really under control means they really establish their commanding posts and so on. This is quite difficult to say at this point in time what is actually true and how many settlements are under control, but definitely not 28 which Russia admitted. I'll show you a little bit from the channel of Michael Naki, a very good analyst, and we'll see what he has to say. And basically I just show the footage of Russia and Vladimir Putin finally also crawl out from under the table where he was hiding for at least 7 days and said something what is actually happening. But again, look at Putin. He doesn't say bad news himself. He managed to make a governor, Smirnov, governor of the region, to take the blame for everything. Not a happy face now, is it? Oh, he was cocky in the February of 2022. This is what governor of the region has to say.
Ситуация в регионе сложная. На сегодняшний день под контролем противника находится 28 населенных пунктов. Глубина проникновения на территорию Курской области составляет 12 километров. Ширина по фронту 40 километров.
Послушайте, Алексей Борисович, это военное ведомство вам доложит, какая там ширина и глубина.
So, look at that. Basically, governor is saying that Ukraine get 12 kilometers into Russian territory, and it's as wide as 40 kilometers. So 12 multiplied by 40, it would be 480 square kilometers. And it's a difficult situation. And Putin interrupting the guy, trying to stop him from saying to the Russian people what is actually happening. Just don't say it. The military guys will explain it. You just tell me about how the people, how... he pretends that he really worry about the people. Which is, if Putin wouldn't start that aggressive war in Ukraine, nobody would have invaded Russia, and this would never happen. Finally, Deep State updated the map and started to show Ukraine presence in here. And according to what I know, Sudzha is under control completely. I'll show you the videos of Ukrainians driving in Sudzha and didn't find anywhere Russians where they say, there is a part of Sudzha controlled by Russians. This is a lie. There was no Russians there. And according to Michael Naki, one of the Russian Z-bloggers decided he will go and look at Sudzha and see maybe he will find what is happening. Yet he get to the borders and he chicken out and left. So if any Russian bloggers gonna contradict me here, they welcome to come to Sudzha and film there, walk there and show that it is not under Ukrainian control. And they can do it. Korenevo, there are fights going there and so on. And in other places, I seen today videos right from Lvov, by the way. And so on, in here there is a lot of Ukrainian presence, and as they say, 74 settlements, according to Ukraine, is under the Ukrainian control. This map is showing exactly Sudzha is under control, and Korenevo, they just about fighting around Korenevo. And this is as deep how Ukraine get into Russian territory. And another additional 5 settlements, they said, captured by Ukraine. So right now, foreign army, not some diversion groups, entered Russian territory. And in a few days, in a week, this is a graph saying how much Ukraine and Russia captured territories in the last offensive operations. Ukraine and Kursk region in a week, according to the Syrsky, the chief of Ukrainian army, 1,000 square kilometers. And Russia and Ukraine from October 2023, according to Deep State map, from the beginning of the year, 1,029 square kilometers and total 1,131 square kilometers. So foreign army invaded Russia, and first time in Russian history, and Michael Naki is right about that, Russia has less territory than before. Ukraine didn't want to fight Russia. It is Russia who attacked Ukraine and committed war crimes there, and not only in Bucha and some other places. No, it started since 2014, when Russia was fighting war in Ukraine, and they did the same atrocities in Slavyansk in 2014 as they did in Bucha later. So this is why Ukraine is fighting. This is what is happening in Ukraine. So this is why Ukraine is fighting back. And another important thing to see to disprove Putin's propaganda, when he is saying, yeah, Russia trying to sweep under the carpet that Russia got invaded, and saying, oh, but we achieving stuff on the front in Ukraine. Spot the difference, 2023, 2024. This is what Russia captured in Ukraine. Do you see any difference? Big one? Yeah, a little bit. That's about it. More and more Russian settlements fall for Ukraine, because Russia completely cannot defend its own borders. It's wide open. Here the guy is just changing sign on Lyubimovka I showed you in the previous video onto Ukrainian word. This is Ukrainians removing Russian flag on the Darin in secondary school in Kursk region.
Отходи. Да бросай его нахуй.
As I showed you in previous video, everything is geolocated and confirmed. And not one sign of Russian civilian resistance. On the contrary, these are Ukrainian people who was saying Russians are invading their country. They was coming out on the streets. They say, you are the enemy, you cursed. You are the bad guys who came here uninvited. And this is even 2014. And this Russian, I told you about him in the last video, but this is the video itself, who's working in Sudzha, I think, and he said the guy, Ukrainian army checked his documents, wasn't rude, just said that he isn't allowed to film anything. And basically said, the Ukrainian hymn and prepare for a referendum. And the guy doesn't mind. This post from Yaroslav Trofimov about previous day 6 of Ukrainian special military operation in Russia. And you're welcome to read it yourself, so basically taking more territories, Krasnooktyabrskaya, the Psel River, and so on, near Belitsa, and so on. New Ukrainian incursions reported overnight in the border villages of Belgorod region as well. You're welcome to see the map as well. Even Russian military bloggers report that Russian units have been moved to Kursk from occupied Donetsk and Kherson. So Russia does move in troops from the other parts of Ukrainian front in Ukraine. This filmed near Sudzha in August 12th by the person who is driving by and just filming the town. The sign says Sudzha. This is filmed by Ukrainians. He's saying the central square in Sudzha.
Украинские военные публикуют видео, снятые на улицах Суджи. Это приграничный город в Курской области, который стал эпицентром боев.
So Ukrainians filmed right in Sudzha. This video is filmed also by Ukrainian right from Sudzha.
Доповідь зроблю. Облазили ми майже всю суджу. Де ті ховаються, поняття не маю.
He said they've been around all Sudzha and didn't see any Russians there. The sign said Dyakonovo, Rylsk and Sudzha. And yeah, the journalists of Current Time confirmed many of this. They even interviewed the man who filmed Sudzha and filmed inside Sudzha and so on. Meanwhile, neither Putin nor Medvedev threatened the world with nukes. They just scared to do so, but they tried to do some other operation in Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. There was a big fire of the cooling tower there, which is people who know things about that type of stuff saying there is nothing to burn in there. Really. What gonna burn? Metal? Concrete? Water? There is nothing to burn there. So finally, experts from International Atomic Energy Agency visited the plant, but they couldn't say what was the reason of all that fire. They didn't find either tires, which people suggesting Russians were burning tires to scare people. And they didn't find pieces of drones either, which Russia suggested Ukraine bombed it. So, but they admitted that the Russians didn't allow them go everywhere on the plant. In either way, there is nothing to worry about. That's why I didn't report on it in the first place. Meanwhile, a lot of Russian soldiers are just giving themselves up. This is an instruction in Russian how to give themselves up and become a prisoners of war. Meanwhile, Russian soldiers are giving up themselves and getting captured en masse. According to Konstantin Sonin, almost 1,000 troops have surrendered over the last 6 days. Let's look at some of them closely.
Выходь! Выходь! Автомат на землю, бля, давай, бьем!
They are speaking Ukrainian. And more Russian soldiers giving themselves up. This is what Russian soldier has to say. We were sent to the front line of defense like meat. There are videos with them, I saw it. And these are finally Chechen Akhmat soldiers, some of them anyways.
Ты откуда?
Грозный.
А? Грозный?
Грозный.
Ахмат?
Where are you from? Grozny, it's Chechnya, capital of Chechnya.
Да.
Ахмат, красавец.
Akhmat, yes. Where are you from?
Грозный.
Ну быстрее вспоминай.
Quickly remember where you're from.
Грозный.
Grozny.
Ахмат, понял. Ты.
Another Akhmat. Look how they dressed up. This is, by the way, that Kadyrovets from Akhmat, detained in Kursk region, wearing Stefano Ricci hoodie. In Russian Central Department Store, it cost about from 118,000 to 336,000 rubles. So, yeah, they're not dressed up like regular Russian soldiers, that's for sure. Also, keep in mind that there are a couple Akhmat battalions. One is a part of Ramzan Kadyrov's Chechen's leader guards, who not even fighting ever anywhere. And there is another Akhmat who actually also doesn't fight, but they appear on some front to shoot at few trees and make TikTok videos. More information from Russian Z channels that Ukrainian army attacking Korenevo and took control on Slobodka-Ivanovka in Kursk region. And there is an article about this. And Russia at the same time trying to say that everything is great and wonderful, but yes, they do trying to announce some evacuations. Kursk and Belgorod region, for example. In the morning of August 12th, Telegram channels noticed movements of Ukrainian military equipment in Belovsky district of Kursk region. And the chief of the district said, oh yeah, there is a difficult situation here and people should evacuate. But yet, Russian authorities doesn't help much to Russian people to evacuate. This is destroyed Russian BMP-3 somewhere in the front. But what I was ticked off lately, it's just some media, even like CNN or something like that, CBS or whatever, trying to say, they literally showing the pictures, like video from Russian propagandist channels, from Russian, literally, government propaganda when everything's organized, they put in people on the buses and this and that. Turn out to be people running away by themselves, as I showed you in my previous video. And this is second army in the world began using latest technology on the battlefield. Perhaps they borrowed it from Houthis. That said, Jürgen nodded. This happened in Kherson region, which isn't on Russian territory, and so on. Russian losses every day. This is August 11. And I don't think they even counted what happened in Kursk region. 1,220 people, Russian people, dead, wounded, and missing. As Professor Gerdis pointed out, Putin pulls units out of Ukraine to defend Russia, Kiev says. Finally! But because of mid-waves attack, Russia keep getting little bit of ground near Vovchansk, Chasiv Yar, Toretsk, and Pokrovsk, which is in Ukraine. It's not Kursk region we're talking about right now. But the gains are so microscopical for the losses Russia has. And Russia is running out of military equipment and asking Belarus for help. These are Russian losses on August 13th. Another 1,160 people dead. Every day, just to get little bit of ground, in a waiting time of 100 days until, in Putin's opinion, Trump might get elected. Over 1,000 Russian people dead, wounded, or missing every single day. Ukraine is losing less, but still they don't have to lose any if Russia wouldn't attack Ukraine. This is also 11,000 residents of Krasnoyarsk district in Russia's Belgorod region. It's not Kursk region, it's Belgorod region. According to Governor Gladkov, kinda left homes, trying to run away from the war. And none of that would have been necessary if Putin wouldn't start an aggressive war. And this war came to Russian territory, to my country, thanks to Putin. And by the way, a few tips from Russian dictator Putin. How to hide the information from your own people. So you chop off internet, you make YouTube either working slowly or don't working at all, and basically it seems like Russia is stopping cell service working in the Kursk region, so they can't call. That is why so many Russian people looking for their relatives and can't really find them, can't call them. And another important tip from Russian dictator Putin. When somebody invades your country and you have to displace 180,000 people, basically 120,000 of them already left their homes. And Russia doesn't help them, they're just running away. But there are suggestions that if they would run basically to the Russian Federation, to the rest of the Russia, people in Russia will find out that Russia got invaded, that this is what is happening. People will tell, people from Kursk region will tell the rest of the Russians what is happening. So there are suggestions, let's send them to Ukraine, to Zaporizhia region occupied by Russia. So there are some resorts here on the Sea of Azov empty because of the war. So they wanted to move people here. Just for they didn't run to the rest of Russia and didn't let Russian people to know what is happening. The heroic defense of Ukrainian people. They not only stood up for themselves and for their own life, and for their own freedom, and for their own democracy, but mostly for their own life. They are standing up for us as well, for our democracy and our freedom, because Putin wouldn't stop at Ukraine. Putin will go further, and he is not even hiding his intent. So stop Putin, stop war, help Ukraine. It's not Ukraine who wants war. It's not Ukraine who started it. It's not Ukraine who can stop it unless they take Russian territory and maybe have to take Moscow. Because Putin doesn't want peace. He doesn't want negotiations. He is lying about all of this. He is bombing Ukraine every day. And every day people in Ukraine, peaceful people, and people from Ukrainian army are dying because of Putin unleashed an aggressive war. And I proved it on my channel time and time again. So you're welcome to educate yourself, learn the truth, and stay informed. Please help Ukraine and stop Putin. Thank you for watching. See you later. Have a great day.